Welcome to UX Pro. In this video, we will see how to log into Docker container. In the first section, we will see how to access the container from the standalone Docker host. In the second section, we will see how to log into the Docker container from the Kubernetes and Openshift environments. Throughout this video, I'll be referring unixarena.com where the article has been posted. Once you open the web page, just scroll down to standalone Docker host section. The standalone Docker host is nothing but a server or your laptop, or it can be any system where the Docker software is installed. Using Docker exec -it and bypassing a container name or ID with the shell, you'll be able to access the Docker container. The running Docker container can be listed using a Docker ps command. Let's try the same on the Docker standalone host. It can be a Windows or Linux where you have installed your Docker software. So bring up the terminal and run a docker ps command, and that's the Docker ID, container ID, or you can say, and that's the image version. Go back to Unix Arena page and try to copy the command to log into the Docker container. So docker exec -it and the container name and bash shell. So now we successfully logged into the Docker container, and I'll be able to run the commands inside the Docker container. To exit from the Docker container, use exit command. In this section, we will see how to log into the pods which are running in the Kubernetes cluster. Pod is nothing but a small atomic unit which hosts the Docker containers. It can be a single container or a multi-container. Again, I'm going back to the Unix Arena page, the section which talks about Kubernetes cluster, and to list the running pods, you can use kubectl get pods command. This lists the running pods on your system. Just scroll down and see there is a command to log into the pod. It's similar to the Docker command, which is kubectl exec -it pod name. Then you need to specify the shell, and the newer Kubernetes environment, so we have to pass --- before the bash shell in order to pass the commands to the pods. So that is something you need to remember. So let's try that in the our Kubernetes environment. I'm just running a kubectl exec -it and the pod name, and I'm specifying the namespace explicitly, and you need to go --- then bash. Once you enter this command, then you see that this pod is hosting 2 containers and it has logged into the default container Nginx. There is another container called sidecar container, so that is something we'll see how we can log into the specific container by passing the additional parameters in the next section. Going back to Unix Arena page, and there is a specific section where it talks about how to log into the specific container. All you need is that you need to pass the additional flag called -c, then you need to explicitly specify the container name. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'll be running the same command with the additional option -c, then I will specify the sidecar container, which is the container name. It failed because the sidecar container doesn't have the bash executable. I think what I will do, I will just use the shell. Here we can see that we have successfully logged into the sidecar container, and I'm able to run the commands inside the container. So to exit from the pod, you can simply use exit command. In this section, we will see how to log into the pod, which is running on Openshift environment. It's one of the Kubernetes variant, which is supported by Red Hat. Go back to Unix Arena page and navigate to the section where it mentioned about logging into the pod on Openshift cluster. Using OC RSH and the pod name, you will be able to log into the pod. Thank you for watching UX Pro. Please do subscribe to the channel if you feel that the content is relevant to you.